Good afternoon, everybody. Obviously, not coming in here with the result we had hoped for on Friday night. Congratulations again to Tarleton. They got a really good football team. They're well coached, very talented, and beat us. Felt like we made some plays and gave ourselves some opportunities, but also, we let some opportunities go and had some self-inflicted mistakes that really cost us. And even with that, we had a chance right there to win the game at the end and didn't come through. So it's disappointing, but a lot to learn from, obviously a lot to improve on. And we'll need to improve tremendously this week as we play Kansas State, who's very talented, extremely well coached, and going to be a better football team than the one that we faced on Friday night. So we're going to prepare our team and hope that we can play a lot better and give ourselves a lot better chance this Saturday than we did the last time out. And we're grateful for the opportunity to play a great team like Kansas State. It's one of the things that our guys really, I think, cherish in their experience here at West Point, is the opportunity to play against teams like this and in games like this. And it's just part of the experience of college football. And as I said, they're a great team. It will take our very best effort, the best we can muster, to be in the game with them. And hopefully we can come up with that kind of effort and be competitive on Saturday night.
To kick us off, go ahead, Rich.
Thanks. Rich DeMarco, Army Radio. Coach, when it's a setback, a lot of people want to talk about, what went wrong and why things happened. What are some things, a few things maybe from Friday night, that make you optimistic heading into week 2 against Kansas State?
Well, sure. There's plenty that went wrong. And as everybody focuses on those, so do I. We got to figure out how to fix the problems that we had. But I thought our guys played physical and played tough and played hard. We made some errors and frankly, there are times they just beat us. I mean, I thought they did a great job up front on both their offensive and defensive lines, and defeated some blocks against us. And we weren't able to defeat the blocks that we needed to at times, but there are other times where we did. And we made some good plays. Our defense, we made them punt 7 times. Typically, when we make another team punt 7 times, it is usually a good day for us. And so our defense at times answered when they needed to, and other times we didn't. We allowed them to make some plays. Offensively, I thought the drive at the end of the first half, to get the ball with very little time left, to be able to put a drive together, go down and score a touchdown, that was extremely positive for us to be able to do that right before the half. And so, I mean, there were moments where I thought we played well. Obviously, Trey Benson, the couple of punt returns he had, I thought those were very positive. He got some blocks, but he did a really nice job returning the ball. So we can find things. There are positives that come out of Friday. It just, unfortunately, we didn't find a way to win. And if we find a way to win that game, we still have all the same issues. We still have all the same problems to correct. We just don't feel quite as bad, because we would have found a way to win the game and we didn't. So, there's certainly some good things, and we can recognize those, but obviously some glaring mistakes and some things we got to get better at.
Jeff, countless times over the last 12 years, you've talked about how proud you are to be the head coach at West Point. You're going to face a power conference team on the road, though the proximity to Fort Riley from Manhattan, Kansas, is something that's very important to Kansas State, important to folks out there. What will it mean to be in a place that truly is a greater Army town?
It's awesome to be traveling to a place where we know there's going to be American soldiers close by, in attendance, and that there's a pride that comes with the Army team coming to town, and that means a lot to us. It's the team we play for. It's the team we represent. We are the Army team when we take the field, and it gives me personally great pride to do that, to be a part of West Point, to serve our men and women in this role. And I know it gives our team great pride to wear those colors and to represent the Army. I'll assure you that all of our guys, all of our players are excited about the opportunity to serve alongside those men and women, and to become one in their ranks, and to be in leadership positions to help guide and lead soldiers. They're really looking forward to that, and so it means a lot for them to know they represent those men and women, and to know that they'll be there, and that we maybe got a little bit of a hometown crowd that will be in attendance among the huge crowd that I know Kansas State will have cheering for them.
Thanks, Jeff.
Ken McMillan, go ahead.
Hey, Jeff, can you give us an analysis of Dwayne's performance on Friday night, and also Cale Helms?
So Dwayne, he did some really good things, and obviously there's some mistakes that stand out that you know are obvious, but I thought he competed really hard. He had some good runs. He had some really good throws. You know, he had some errant throws. The one that was the long throw, I think you know, that interception gained about 42 yards. That was on a 3rd down, though I'd have much rather have had, you know, a ball that was at least playable. You never know what'll happen. A guy catch it or a PI, but the one that was glaring was down there in the red zone. We threw the interception, and just you know, just a mental breakdown there to throw it to that receiver, and you know, he feels bad about it. He didn't want to make those mistakes, but he also led us on some scoring drives. He made a great throw to Noah Short down there when we needed to get in a scoring position. He made a great throw, and Noah made a great catch, and made a great throw to Brady Anderson on the post route. There were a lot of things that he did really well. So he's just not as experienced, and I think any player who lacks experience is going to make some mistakes at times. And you know, I think Brady Small's a really good football player, and he started for 2 straight years, this being his now his 3rd year that he's starting. But I remember in the opening game against ULM, he gave up a sack down on the goal line in the opening drive, and you know, he was to get out for the edge rusher, and you know, this time around he'd probably get out and be in better position than he was in that opening game without any experience. And I think fewer mistakes are made when a player is more seasoned. And so, you know, a guy can't be a starter or a returning starter until he starts. And so, though Dwayne, you know, got some playing time last year and started against Air Force, you know, it's different. This is his team. He's the starting quarterback, and you know, there's going to be some mistakes that are made, and he wasn't the only one. But I thought he played really hard, and I thought for most of the game he gave us a chance to win. I was really pleased with Cale Helms. I was very pleased with his performance, his effort, his toughness, his leadership, to come in off the bench, and not a planned entrance to the game. This was Dwayne's hurt, you got to go in. And so to come off the bench like that, that's not easy to do. And I thought he did a really nice job of putting a drive together there that gave us a chance to kick the field goal in regulation, and then playing the overtime snaps like he did. He certainly showed leadership and toughness there. And you know, he had some plays that he'd like to get back, and we'd like to have back. Just maybe missing some looks in the passing game where he could have hit a guy. But that again, it comes with experience. And the more those guys play, I think the more they'll improve and get better.
I mean, it's gotta be great. I mean, Dwayne is your guy, but for Helen to get such experience in an opener can only help the program.
Well, I hope it helps the program. As I said, this is going to be a bigger test than the one we faced on Friday night. This is Kansas State is more talented and bigger and more athletic and faster. And that's no knock on Tarleton. Tarleton's a good team. I mean, I'm not saying this after the fact. We knew it going in that team could play in an FBS league and be a bowl team. And just look at the teams that play at the the top level of the FCS. I mean, I've been on that side of it. I've been on that side of it. We had pretty good players at Georgia Southern, and we gave a lot of people fits, including beating Florida. And that's teams that play at that level, at the highest level of FCS, and have talented teams. They're pretty good, and this team was a good team. But we know Kansas State. Kansas State's one of the most successful football programs in the country in the last 25 years. I mean, they are dang good. And what what Bill created there, and has continued. It's just amazing. Coach Snyder, incredible coach, and now Coach Kleiman, he's just cut from the same cloth. Tough teams, great defense, run the football, and so it'll be a real challenge.
Any specifics to Kansas State that have concerns or?
Well, in the first two games, I think their opponents are averaging about 2.5 yards per rush. That's a big concern. We're a running football team, and they're pretty darn good at playing the run. Coach Kleiman and I squared off against each other. His days at North Dakota State, mine at Georgia Southern, and he's faced option teams in the past, faced other academies, and he's a defensive-minded coach and does a really good job at coaching his teams. Offensively, their quarterback is really fast. He throws it great. They've got running backs, receivers, skill guys that are really talented, productive, an offensive line that they're not, you watch the games, they're not giving up sacks. They're they do a great job just controlling football games, and that's what good offenses do. So it's just, there's a lot of concerns, just how talented they are, how confident they play as a team, how well coached. It's a really hard team to beat. I mean, ask anybody in the Big 12. Those guys all got 85 scholarships, just like Kansas State, and access to the transfer portal. And, not a lot of teams in that league can beat Kansas State. And so it'd be a real challenge for us.
And last thing, Jeff, can you do a little deep dive on the specifics of the O-line and how it jived with your run game?
Our own offensive line, at times it was good. Obviously, we popped out of there a couple of times. Hayden Reed had a nice run on the power. We got the B-backs going a little bit on the zone dive, and there were other times where we couldn't get a double team. Tarleton was defeating double teams and running through us, and couldn't get movement at the point of attack. Times where we blocked the wrong guy. That's all our responsibility. It's my responsibility. We got to coach better. That's where it starts. Not just playing better. We got to coach better. And if we coach better, our guys will play better. And so I think Mike Vitti and Chested Blackshear do a great job coaching our offensive line. And they're a tough-minded, rugged-minded group of guys that want to play hard and physical. And so that starts with the way we practice and the way we prepare, and obviously we fell short of our expectations on Friday night and what we could do to to move people and be an interior run team. So we got to do a better job with that, and that'll give us a better chance.
Austin, go ahead for whoever's on Zoom.
We'll go to Sal Interdonato first of Black Knight Nation.
Hey, Coach, hope all is well.
Sal,
I have a question about second half first downs. I think there were 4 negative plays, put you behind a little bit. Is that concerning to you? Is that more scheme? What can you say about, the struggles maybe a little bit on first down in the second half?
it's really concerning, Sal. We had 10 negative yardage plays on the game. That's way too many. And it's one of the things that we try to make important is to eliminate negative yardage plays. And we're not a team that always is able to create these big explosive plays for 40 and 50 yards, but to eliminate negative yardage plays helps us stay on schedule. And to get those on first down to put ourselves in second and long, man, that makes it really, really tough to operate. And so it's a concern overall, just having negative yardage plays, but certainly to start a new set of downs with a negative yardage play is a challenge. And some of that was just I think just our responsibility as coaches to make sure our guys block the right guy. And we didn't do that all the time on Friday night. And I don't know why that is. I know now. Watch the film and we have a chance to talk through it, but it shouldn't happen. It's our responsibility. We gotta make sure our guys block the right guys. And there's an onus of responsibility on coaches and players to be on the same page and do that right. And we can't stand out there behind them and say, okay, here's the play we're going to call. This is the way they're lining up. You go block that guy and tell all 11 guys exactly what they're doing. That's why we practice, so that they can go execute those things. So there's a responsibility for them to get that right, but also for us to make sure they do. So I accept responsibility. We all have to accept responsibility for the failures and shortcomings. And the bottom line is we better block the right guy, and then we better do it with really great fundamentals, or we're going to struggle to move the football on offense. And I'm confident that we'll get our guys coached up and that our players will prepare, and we'll do a better job of at least getting to the guy we're supposed to on Saturday. And then hopefully we use good fundamentals and give ourselves a chance.
Did missing Liam Fortner on the outside, his perimeter blocking, affect your running game at all? Would that have helped on against Tarleton State, or do you think that was an impact? Or
Sure, I think anytime there's a player with experience like Liam not in the game, we miss Liam. He's really good at that. He's the best guy we've got doing that. And hopefully he's going to be back and healthy and be able to help us do that going forward. There are times where we got the ball kicked out there on the perimeter. We got some yards on pitch plays off the option and the toss plays out there, and we weren't able to sustain blocks through the duration of the play, and guys came off late. We had one where we pitched it out there. Noah Short had a holding call on a long run that got called back. Liam wouldn't have been in that position to make that block because he plays a different position. But there was another one going toward their bench, going toward the scoreboard, where early in the game, we busted out of there, and the DB came off of the stalk block by the receiver. And I mean, those guys are all trying hard. They're physical and tough, but there's just some guys that with experience do a little bit better. And Liam has a lot of experience and he does it pretty good. So hopefully he'll be back before too long and be able to get in the mix and help us.
One last one, Coach. I think that 10 guys started their first game against Tarleton State. Was there any one of the 10 that maybe jumped out a little bit more on film after you guys watched it, who had a good first start, so to speak, for you guys?
Well, that's a good question. I thought Colin Madison played really hard, played pretty well. I think that was he probably was one of those guys with his first start. I thought Eric Ford made some good plays. That one where he rushed the passer, they kind of had their backs down to the wall down there on the end where the core sits, and he knocked the ball out of the quarterback's hands. Unfortunately, the quarterback fell on it himself. We didn't have anybody else that was there in the backfield. They were all getting blocked or, in a gap and didn't get there. But, he made some plays like that were good plays. I'm not sure if he was one of those guys. I don't know if he'd started before or not. I know, Ella was the regular starter there in the past. I thought Hayden made some good runs. He started games before, but being back at the B-back position. All the guys that were in there made some plays throughout the night, but they made some errors too. We had some guys that have started a whole lot of football games for us that made some errors on Saturday or Friday night. And so, it's hard to pick out guys and just say this guy did a really good job. And, overall he had a winning performance. I tend to look at how we played together, because one guy's not going to win a football game. 11 guys together playing out there and being on the same page and executing together. That's what wins. Play in and play out, 11 guys doing their job together. So collectively, we didn't play, starters or returning starters or not, we didn't play as well as we needed to.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go
Thanks.
now to Ken Kreitzer from CamVets Media. Ken, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. Hey, let's just ask you about Larry Pickens, a national story today, his heroism, rescuing someone from a car in an accident that was about to go on fire, made the national news. Even the Secretary of the Army complimented your player, your sophomore, Larry Pickens. What was your impression?
Well, we're very, very proud of Larry. Larry and his family, they came upon that accident before anybody else had gotten there. It obviously had just happened. And I don't know the whole story, but just Larry, just as cadets do, as people who are servant minded do, he didn't stop and consider, is this going to be dangerous for me? He saw somebody in trouble, and where a lot of people would stand by the wayside and maybe turn their phone on and not do anything, or just call 911 and not get involved. What our cadets do, what our men and women that serve do, what our first responders do, is they rush toward the trouble and the danger, and he did. You can see on video that somebody in his family was videoing what was going on, and he and his dad are pulling this gentleman out of his car, and there's sparks that are falling from the treetops and the utility poles and wires that are loose on the ground, and flames kind of around the car. And if you're just looking at it, you're thinking, okay, that car's full of gasoline, it can go up in flames or blow up at any point, and just complete disregard for that. He's going to save that guy, get him out of there. And so it speaks to just his character, and it speaks to the courage and the selflessness of our cadets and what this place stands for. But I think it also speaks to his parents and his upbringing. He wasn't over there by himself. His dad was right there with him. And they carried that gentleman from one side of the road to the other to get him out of harm's way. So, you know, there's a I think a humility to Larry Pickett that when you talk to him, it's just kind of no big deal. It just, you could see that it's a pretty lengthy video that he's just, matter of fact, it's just what he did. And but I'm really proud of him. We're all very proud of him, and he's a source of pride for our entire academy, our program, and the men and women that he represents and that he serves. So it was awesome. It's a great story. It should be national news, and I'm happy for that man, that he's safe, and I know that his family's, I'm sure, very very glad that he's, you know, okay and able to come home and live another day, just as Larry's family is glad that he's safe and was able to save that guy and get out of that situation without getting hurt himself. We're certainly glad he's back here with us too.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful story, and heroic, represents the core of cadets and your team so well. Hey, listen a little bit to Coach Chris Kleeman yesterday to his press conference, and he talked a lot about, I guess, from his days as a defensive coordinator at North Dakota State, eye discipline. He said he only wanted players on the field who have good eye discipline. Is that, I know you talk about the same thing. Why is that so important?
Because you, as a defensive player can get baited into putting his eyes where they don't belong. You know, that happened on Friday night to us. It's not exclusive to defending option offenses. It's playing defense. It's having eye discipline. And you know, you got a linebacker that's got a tight end running a drag route. He's supposed to grab the drag route and cover the drag route. Well, his eyes are on the quarterback, and they're not supposed to be on the quarterback. That's eye discipline. A DB who's supposed to be playing a wheel route, and you know, the guy runs right by him, and he's got his eyes on the run action because the quarterback stuck his hands out there with the ball, and somebody put their arms around it like they were going to take the hand off, and you know, all of a sudden their eyes aren't in the right place. You know, that's eye discipline, and you can get beat. You can get beat with poor eye discipline. You give up plays, you give up touchdowns with poor eye discipline. So I said, Coach Kleiman is a tremendous football coach. He's a great defensive coach, and he's proven to be an incredible head coach. And when Craig Bowl went to Wyoming, and I came here, and the same year, Chris Kleiman took over the North Dakota State program, and they continue to win national championships, and then he got the opportunity to go to Kansas State. Gene Taylor, who was the AD at North Dakota State, became the AD at Kansas State and hired Chris, and it was a wise hire. Chris is a great coach, and that same mentality, that toughness, the winning on defense and running the ball and controlling games, you know, that came with Chris Kleiman, and he's done a terrific job. It's just not a guarantee that because a program has been winning that the next coach that takes over is just automatically going to win. They've got to drive the culture and procure the talent and manage the organization and all the things that come with being the CEO. And he did a great job of that at North Dakota State, where the expectations are really high, and then took over for Bill Snyder, who, I mean, arguably one of the best college football coaches in the modern era, and took a program that was maybe the worst in college football and turned it into one of the best. You know, it just wasn't an automatic, but Chris Kleiman has continued that, and so he's done a really good job.
Thanks, everybody.